One thing I'm learning is that catching up on retirement isn't about one big dramatic move. It's about a series of intentional decisions, some small, some large, some uncomfortable, that start to add up day by day. So today I want to share a few things I'm actively doing right now that are already making a difference. One of the first things I did was something I had been thinking about for a few months, and that is I called around to get new quotes on my homeowner's insurance. I made sure I had the current insurance plan right in front of me so that I could compare apples to apples. In fact, I even emailed it to the companies that I was getting quotes from. I didn't want to change coverage, I didn't want to reduce protection. I just asked questions. That alone saved me $1,000 a year. That's not cutting coffee or skipping joy. That's money I get to redirect towards my future retirement. If you haven't shopped your insurance and years have gone by, this is one of those hidden wins a lot of us overlook. Next on the agenda, shop around for better rates for car insurance. I also canceled the streaming services that we really don't use much, like Netflix and Hulu. We found out that most of our viewing is on YouTube, so we don't need those other streaming services sucking money from our account. I have always been one that would rather learn something from what I read or watch than be entertained. If you're the type that tends to prioritize entertainment rather than learning, maybe try a switch for just a month. You never know, you may learn something and get hooked on constantly learning rather than being entertained constantly. You can always add those streaming services later, if you desire, that is. So I also learned a lot of our money was being eaten up by going out to eat, shopping on Amazon, just those little purchases that add up to 1,000 or over 1,000 at the end of the month when you have to pay off that credit card. That's all money that we could be investing in our retirement. I also want to call around and find out if we can get internet cheaper. What do you pay for internet? I'm paying about $65 a month. Is that expensive or is that cheap? As far as our cell phones go, I just canceled our phone insurance. I realized our phones are a couple years old and not really worth insuring them anymore. So that saved us about $16 to $20 a month. Another shift I'm making is changing the order money leaves my account. For most of my life, I pay bills first and whatever was left was supposed to go into savings. But there usually wasn't much left. Now I'm flipping that mindset, paying my future self first, and then fitting life around what remains. It's a mental shift more than anything, but it changes how intentional you become. I'm still sticking with no spend January, and honestly, it's helping reinforce those changes. When you're not constantly spending, you actually notice how much control you do have. It's not about never spending again, it's about spending on purpose. We need to ask ourselves, why are we buying this or buying that? Is it out of boredom? Is it to bring joy? I'm not talking about the needs, but I'm talking about the wants. The just buying to buy mindset. Do we really need a new car? Are we trying to keep up with the neighbors? Are we trying to boost our own self esteem? These are some questions that we need to ask ourselves. Personally, I would rather live debt free and simply and know that I don't have to struggle in retirement. How about you? So we may be getting a late start, but better late than never, right? Another reality I had to accept is that at this stage of life, cutting expenses can only go so far. Sometimes the bigger opportunity is earning more while we have a chance. That might mean a side hustle, freelancing, consulting, or even a full career change late in life. I know that idea can feel scary, but it can also be empowering. In fact, if you've been following along with my other videos, you've probably heard me say that I wasn't able to work or earn much money at all the last few years because of a health crisis I had experienced. Well, I healed from that, thank the Lord. That health crisis didn't stop me, but I did start a new career. I've been self employed basically my whole adult life, and I knew that once I got my health back, I had to come up with some way to make money again. I really didn't have another business idea or one that I really wanted to start this late in life. And I didn't want to work a typical 8 to 5 job. That's something I found is really hard when you've been self employed your whole life and been in charge of your own time. I did try that for a short period about a year ago, and I hated it. I'm just not cut out to be an employee. So I decided to get my real estate license last spring, and I've started in real estate. Now, when you're a realtor, you're basically self employed, so it works with what I want. But I have to tell you, the money is not coming in as quick as I had hoped or wanted. And thankfully, I do have my husband to support me and us while I'm building the real estate career. I'm just saying this to let you know that even though society might say you're too old to change careers or start something new or even change jobs, that's not necessarily true. Don't let anything limit you to achieving your goals. You don't have to tell people what you plan to do because so many people are naysayers. Just do it. Another thing I'm doing this is YouTube channel. I don't know if it will become monetized, but I sure hope it does. There's many other people on YouTube making money from it. And if they can do it, I can do it. That's my philosophy. There's no rule that says your income potential ends at 50, 60, 65, or 70. In fact, I saw an elderly man who started his YouTube channel at age 80, and now he's bringing in about $4,000 a month extra. There is a need for older people on YouTube. The younger people, they go to TikTok. The older people, they go to YouTube. In fact, I have found from talking to people my age and older that YouTube is where they go to research cars, vacation spots, what to do in a certain town they're visiting, etc. YouTube is a wealth of knowledge. And if you are 50, 60, 70 years old, you've lived a long time and you have knowledge in some area that you can share and help people. So let YouTube possibly be an option for you. But if YouTube is not for you, just a side hustle, something that you really enjoy doing and create some income from it. I'll be going over some ideas, things that I've actually done in the past to help you in the next video. So please like and subscribe so you don't miss it. Now, when it comes to investing later in life, I'm learning it helps to think in buckets, not just accounts. For me, the order of importance looks something like this. Emergency savings, that's peace of mind, and that matters. Short-term, safe money, so I'm not forced to pull investments at the wrong time. Growth investments for the years I still have ahead, and income-focused investments for when work slows down or stops completely. This isn't about chasing risky returns, it's about balance and intention. If you're watching this and feeling like you should have done all this sooner, I get it, but the best time to make changes is when you finally see clearly. Catching up doesn't mean panic, it just means progress. Let's inspire each other. You know, it doesn't matter if you make $200,000 a year or you make $60,000 a year. If someone can't handle money, they can't handle money. So don't beat yourself up. Just don't keep doing what you've always done, or you'll always get what you've always got. Make the changes now, while there's time. Have you heard of a man named Charlie Munger? Look him up on YouTube. He is Warren Buffett's best friend. He has a great wealth of knowledge, and he's acquired over his years. I really enjoy listening to him. Helps put things in perspective. In the next video, I'll talk more about how I'm deciding where money actually goes and the questions I'm asking before making any moves. Another topic I know a lot of people think about at this stage is downsizing. Whether that means selling a home, moving to something smaller, or using home equity more intentionally. That's something I'm still thinking through. And it deserves its own honest conversation. So I'll be talking about that in a future video. If you're navigating money later in life, subscribe and stick around. We're figuring this out together. Take care, and I'll see you soon.